Today, we need to talk about the iPad. We need to talk about the size of the iPad because there are so many people who make their purchasing decision not off of the size of the chip or the power of the chip in the iPad. They make their decision on the iPad based on the size of the iPad. And so if that's you and you're trying to see, do I want a mini? Do I want the Air 13 or do I want, the Pro 11 inch? Because those are roughly in the same range. This is gonna be a helpful video for you. It's just a really cool time to see the iPad lineup right now. Like in the Apple lineup, in the iPad lineup, there is a iPad for every single type of person out there. If you're somebody who wants something that's minuscule, that's a little bit bigger than your phone, but it's not gonna take up a ton of space in your backpack, you have the mini. If you're looking for something like a budget, you have the 10.5. I mean, that thing is $350, that's crazy. Or if you're somebody who just needs a full-blown laptop replacement, you can get that 13-inch iPad Pro, and it's an amazing, amazing device. And so it's just really cool because right now I get all sorts of people commenting on my videos of the different iPads they got, and it's like, yes, you found something that works for you, and that's awesome. First off, we need to talk about the iPad mini. The iPad mini is one of my favorite devices that Apple has ever produced of all time, right next to that 12-inch MacBook that used to be out. It was such an awesome device, but this iPad mini, in my mind, is just as good, and it sits in such a perfect spot. For those of us who don't like having a Max phone, because I don't ever go for the Max versions of the iPhone, that's just too big and too much in my pocket. But if I have an iPad mini with me, I get all of that versatility of having a big phone, but I don't have to keep it in my pocket. You can put the iPad mini in a backpack. It's small enough, light enough that it really doesn't take up room. It's not weighty, and it's extremely versatile in that I can bring it to a meeting with me, use the Apple Pencil on it like it's a small piece of paper. It's not taking up a bunch of room on the desk or on the table. It's an amazing device. Not only that, when I go out on shoots, because I have a video production company, I use the iPad mini as a teleprompter for people. So in my mind, one of the most useful iPads that Apple has ever made is that iPad mini. Now, yes, it is not the most powerful chip by far. I mean, it really is, at this point, it is a very old machine, but I'm not editing video on it. I'm not editing photos on it. If I'm browsing the web and I'm watching YouTube, the iPad mini is more than enough. And so size-wise, if you're somebody who's traveling a lot and you want to still have something that is a good viewing experience, but you don't want the weight or the size of something big like an iPad Air 13 or 11, the iPad mini sits in that perfect spot for those of us who want great power, a great viewing device in a small package. Hey, real quick, I want to thank today's sponsor, Cool Gadget, who sent out this xCool Cable Monster 4-in-1 100-watt USB-C charging cable. Now, as you can see on these charging cables, they've got USB-C, they've got USB-A, they've got Lightning, and then another USB-C right here. Now, I talk a lot on this channel about making sure that you're traveling with the fewest amount of cables possible. Well, with this 4-in-1 cable, it makes it so that you actually can travel with a single cable and make sure you can connect to all of your devices. Now, we all know that Apple's gone away from the USB-A port, but I still have so many devices that have a USB-A port, and it's so helpful to still have one while being able to take the other end and making sure that I still can connect to USB-C. And every single kind of cable is made differently. These ones are extremely fast, 480 megabits per second data transfer speed through these cables, which is no slouch at all. That means you can transfer huge files like video files, large photo files, and photo libraries super fast, but because it has the 4-in-1 different ports, you can do it on any different device that you have. Now, the other huge thing that people don't realize is that when you buy a cable, not all of them support full charging. You might buy a cable and it only supports 15 watts, 20 watts. These support a full 100 watts charging. So 100 watts going through a single cable, that's a ton of power, but you don't need to worry because these are made out of extremely strong materials. These cables have a wonderful braided nylon blend. I mean, they feel really good. It's flat, so that way when it's in your backpack, it doesn't get all tangled up. And inside is a zinc alloy, which means it's going to provide a ton of power, transfer things really fast, and it has a 100,000 bend lifespan. That's a massive lifespan. So if you want to check out these extremely high quality 100-watt 4-in-1 cables, go ahead and click the link in the description below, and when you're at checkout, make sure to use 10JohnTech to get 10% off. Thanks again, Cool Gadget, for sponsoring today's video. Let's get back into it. All right, next let's hit the other end of the spectrum. Right here I have the 13-inch iPad Air. It's upside down. If you're the kind of person that you don't do anything small or halfway, the iPad Air 13-inch is the way to go. Now, you can get the 13 Pro. Again, the price of that thing being at $1,300, that is very, very expensive, but this is for the person who probably is using an iPad as their main device. Like when I'm holding a 13-inch device, that is an absolute behemoth of a device. Like I've said it before, feels kind of like you're holding a TV in your hands. It's just too big, and I couldn't imagine myself using this as my everyday device, but that's because I use a MacBook Pro 14-inch, and so having a 13-inch device and a 14-inch device really doesn't make much sense to me. But there's a lot of people out there where the 13-inch iPad Air or iPad Pro is going to be their only device. Whether you're a student or you're going to school and you kind of want to save a little bit money compared to going with a MacBook, or you want the versatility of having the keyboard and having the Apple Pro Pencil, which is one thing to be said about this device. It is modular. Like, you can get what you need and not get what you don't. And so when you're on a big device like this, say you're an artist, having this much screen real estate to do your art and to be able to pinch and zoom, but then like feel like it's a full-size piece of paper, for some people, that is what they need. When your work is mostly like drawing and all that, you need that extra space. And so with the 13-inch iPad, whether it's the Air or the Pro, I don't really recommend this for most people. It's just too big. But if this complements your workflow, then absolutely, by all means, get the biggest screen that you can. Just be aware that when you purchase this with the keyboard and with the Apple Pencil, like, you're straight up in MacBook Air, MacBook Pro territory, and macOS is still better than iPadOS hands down. Another person who might want the 13-inch iPad is if you're a gamer. This is a beautiful screen on both the iPad Air and the iPad Pro. They are absolutely gorgeous screens. If you're a gamer and you want all this screen real estate and a small package to bring with you, like, you can connect a Bluetooth controller to this, and that's pretty cool, especially with the new Call of Duty app. Like, there's a lot of cool stuff with gaming you can do with this. If you're primarily a gamer, maybe the 13-inch is for you. But like I said, I just don't think it's for most people. Not everybody's a gamer, especially in the Apple world. So let's talk about the 11-inch and who I think that's for. All right, last, the 11-inch iPad Pro in my hands right now. It is one of my favorite devices. It's a beautiful space black. The screen on this thing is amazing, but today we're not talking about the specifics of the iPad. We are talking about the size. This is probably the iPad for most people. The 11-inch screen is the perfect size iPad. It gives you enough screen real estate to do most of your work, and it's not too big and too chunky to just throw in a backpack and take with you. It is a better screen, better battery life, all that than the iPad mini, but it's not as huge as the 13-inch devices. When I take the 11-inch iPad Pro with me to a meeting, it's a perfect size for the Apple Pencil to take notes. Putting it in the Magic Keyboard means it's a completely, fully functional device. Yes, iPadOS is still behind macOS, and so I would never kind of have it as my main thing. But as a companion device, the 11-inch iPad Air or iPad Pro to me is just an absolutely perfect device. Now, if you go with the 11-inch iPad Air, which has the M2 chip in it, or the 11-inch iPad Pro, which has the M4 chip in it, both of those are completely capable. Like, you're gonna be able to do all your video editing, all photo editing, everything you want to do. That is powerful enough. And so then you got to ask yourself, what's your budget? If you need to save some money, go down with that M2 chip. If you want to get the most life out of a device, go with the M4 chip. And so I just want to reiterate, it is such a cool time to be in the Apple ecosystem, where iPads have just caught up in this great way where they are powerful, are functional. And yes, iPadOS does need to get some new upgrades to it, which we might see at WWDC this year. That's one of the reasons why people think they put the M4 chip in here, because they have a big update coming at WWDC, which, get subscribed, we're definitely gonna talk about it. But it's just amazing to know that whatever your workflow is, whatever your needs are, there is an iPad that's right for you. So let me know in the comments below which iPad is the perfect size, the Goldilocks iPad for you. I'd love to hear what you're gonna get. If you found this video helpful, hit the like button. That helps the algorithm so much. And if you like this video, YouTube thinks you're gonna like this video right here. I'll see you all in the next one.